Close your eyes for a moment. Imagine walking through a forest, but instead of birds chirping in the trees, you hear the ground shaking beneath your feet. A shadow passes overhead. Not from an airplane, but from a flying reptile bigger than a bus. Ahead of you, a giant beast, taller than a 4-story building, moves slowly through the trees, its footsteps echoing like thunder. This was Earth, 100 million years ago. A world where humans didn't exist. A world ruled by giants. For over 170 million years, dinosaurs dominated every corner of the planet, from tiny hunters no bigger than chickens, to titans so massive that even skyscrapers would look small beside them. But then, one ordinary day, in a single catastrophic moment, they were gone, erased. Tonight, we're going to uncover their story, where they came from, how they rose to power, and what really brought their reign to a fiery end. Our story doesn't begin in ancient times, but in 1677. A man named Robert Plot, digging in the English countryside, uncovered a massive bone fossil. It was unlike anything he'd ever seen. He assumed it must have belonged to some ancient giant, maybe even a race of giant humans. What Robert didn't realize was that he had stumbled upon the first evidence of a lost world, a world buried in stone. More than a century later, in 1819, a fossil hunter named William Buckland discovered the remains of a truly gigantic creature in England. He carefully excavated it, studied it, and a few years later, the world was introduced to a new word: dinosaur. From the Greek words deinos, terrible, and sauros, lizard, terrible lizards. And so began humanity's fascination with the giants of the past. But to truly understand these creatures, we must travel much further back, more than 230 million years ago. The Earth looked unrecognizable. Instead of 7 continents, there was only one giant landmass, Pangaea. It stretched across the planet like an endless desert, surrounded by a vast ocean. The climate was harsh, blistering hot days, cold nights, little rain. And in this unforgiving world, the first dinosaurs appeared. They weren't giants yet. The earliest dinosaurs were small, only 2 to 4 feet tall. Swift, agile hunters, not yet rulers, but survivors. The Triassic period was their testing ground. Over millions of years, they adapted, evolved, and spread across Pangaea. And when the climate shifted, when Pangaea began to crack and split apart, the small, dog-sized dinosaurs gave way to bigger, stronger, and more terrifying species. The Age of Giants was about to begin. 201 million years ago, the Jurassic period began. Now the world was green. Lush forests stretched across the land. Rain fell more often. Life exploded everywhere. And with it came the rise of the dinosaurs. Enormous plant eaters, called sauropods, grew to lengths of over 80 feet. They walked in herds, their long necks reaching the tops of trees to strip away leaves. Imagine standing in a clearing and seeing dozens of these creatures, each one heavier than a dozen elephants. And where there were giants, there were predators. Ferocious carnivores with razor-sharp teeth hunted across the plains. Their roars shook the valleys, echoing for miles. The Jurassic also gave birth to something incredible: the first flying dinosaurs. One of the earliest was Archaeopteryx, a strange mix of bird and reptile. With feathered wings and sharp teeth, it could glide through the forests. It was a glimpse of the future, proof that one day descendants of dinosaurs would fill the skies. The Jurassic was truly the golden age of giants. But even this age had to end. 145 million years ago came the Cretaceous period, the final chapter in the dinosaurs' story. By now, dinosaurs had reached their peak. The world was teeming with new species, from the swift and deadly raptors to armored tanks like the ankylosaurs, to titans so large they defied imagination. This was the era of the Argentinosaurus, the largest land animal ever to exist, weighing up to 77 tons. To put that in perspective, that's heavier than 15 African elephants combined. It was also the era of the most infamous predator in history, the Tyrannosaurus rex. With teeth as long as bananas and a bite powerful enough to crush bone, the T-Rex was a true nightmare come to life. But not all dinosaurs were slow giants. Some, like Ornithomimus, were incredibly fast, sprinting at nearly 90 kilometers per hour, faster than a racehorse, and the skies were ruled by monsters, too. The greatest of them all was Quetzalcoatlus, a flying reptile with a wingspan of 36 feet, as wide as a small airplane. For millions of years, life on Earth thrived. The forests were rich, the climate was stable, and dinosaurs reigned supreme. But nothing lasts forever.